Good afternoon, my sisters and brothers. Once more and again, we are coming to you with another edition of our Soil to the Soul garden and culinary series, where we talk about healthy gardening, healthy cooking, and healthy living and a healthy lifestyle. Today we have a wonderful thing coming to you, a few things. We are going to be talking about soil as the foundation for a healthy garden. We're going to be preparing a wonderful grilled vegetable salad with Chef Mark. And we're also going to be starting today off as we give a shout out to our partners once more and again, Healthy Black Families and Thirsty for Change, Seeds for Peace, Stop Waste, Alameda County, as well as UC Co-op Extension. Big shout out to Rob Benetton. We'll talk about that and some of our partners more as we go forward. But really in this edition, we're starting off with our Thirsty for Change series, and we're going to be talking about an infused water and sugar-sweetened beverages. Many of you know that sugar-sweetened beverage reduction is one of the foundations for everything that we do in Soil to the Soul gardening and cooking. It is so crucial, so critical for us to continue to begin to think through what the bottom line is about our health. How do we really think about health and nutrition, healthy mind, healthy spirit, healthy body? Sugar-sweetened beverage reduction is so crucial with our partners from Thirsty for Change. We've been able to educate not just young people, we've been able to educate congregation members and community members, particularly as issues like this impact African Americans. I'll just tell you straight up, I'm a diabetic. I suffered from it. I, for years, just loved sugar-sweetened beverages, but we know that those are not the best things for us. And so today we're going to be talking about how we can make some infused waters without the sugar, far reduced amount of sugar and carbohydrates. We're going to also be looking at some sugar-sweetened beverages and the impacts of those on our bodies. We know that the long-term effects of sugar-sweetened beverages, diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and all kinds of chronic diseases. How can we move those things away? Well, again, a healthy lifestyle, not just what we eat, but what we drink, right? So we talk about that campaign about rethinking your drink. So we're really going to talk about, first of all, a lot of times sugar-sweetened beverages are marketed and targeted specifically to African Americans and poor folks. And people say, well, what's the big deal? If I have a Coke or sugar-sweetened beverage. But the truth of the matter is, habitually, even if you drink 1 or 2 Cokes a day, and I don't even want to get into Diet Coke, because the truth of the matter is there's some things that may be carcinogenic in diet sodas, but we're talking about sugar added, and we know that sugar oftentimes is an enemy of our bodies. And as Deacon Michael Sean Jones often talks about, the reality is it's not just sugar, but many of these beverages are used with are made with high fructose corn syrup, which really has an even more adverse effect on your body than sugar. But sugar oftentimes is an enemy of your body. So I just really want you to think about this. We think about these things. These are real common things. People drink Cokes with dinner or all throughout the day. We take these juice pouches like these Kool-Aid jammers, put them in our kids' lunches. Sunny Delight, the same thing. And then, Gatorade. We know that, many sports teams use Gatorade. We know that Pop Warner football teams and AAU basketball teams use Gatorade. We encourage Gatorade because we say it was an alternative. But when we start examining the sugar that's in this, we need to think and rethink what we're doing and what we're drinking, what we're putting in our bodies. This 6.75 pouch of Kool-Aid jammers. This is something like the Kool-Aid Capri Suns. This actually has 8 grams of sugar. Think about this. This serving is 6.5 ounces. That's not even an 8-ounce glass. So if you double that, and you got like a 12-ounce or 13-ounce glass, you're still talking about 16 grams of sugar. You're well on your way to more than your daily requirements for sugar. Sunny Delight, the same thing. This is an 11.5 ounce bottle. This rolls with 17 grams of added sugar, 19 grams total, 21 grams total. But Sunny Delight does have some juice in it. But again, the carbohydrates in juice, if you get too much, is still not good for you. But it still has 17 grams of added sugar. And then if we go over here and talk about sports drinks, some of y'all say, well, I like Gatorade. I want to be like Mike, right? So the truth of the matter is, this is a 32-ounce bottle of Gatorade. The reality is, this includes 55 grams of sugar in this bottle. Again, even if you cut it in half and you got a 16-ounce bottle, you're still talking about 27 grams. So this is not a healthy alternative to sugar-sweetened beverages. And then here is the mother load, 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola, Coca Classic. This bottle is not only 240 calories, but a whopping 65 grams of sugar. So this is more than your daily allowance for sugar in this one bottle. So if you think about what this does to you, if you're drinking one of these a day, and some people 2 or 3 a day, what that means and what it means. So what we really want to talk about is, we know that we need to reduce sugar. A lot of times kids and even adults will ask, what can I do to still not sacrifice flavor? So one of the things we try to do are infused waters. And so what we try to do is take fruit and fruit essence and infuse them with water. And so what we're doing today, we have several recipes that we'll make available to you, but today we're doing a peach and berry infused water. So we have some organic frozen peaches that you can use. You can get these in the grocery store. You could use canned peaches, but if you use canned peaches, I would tell you that you need to pre-rinse them. I would wash them off in water. You don't want, because a lot of times they're packed in syrup or even fruit juice. These are unsweetened peaches, organic peaches. And basically, if you look at the label here, if you had about 10 pieces, which we roughly have probably about 7 or 8 pieces, it would be about 14 grams of carbohydrates, not added sugar, but sugar, fructose is naturally occurring in the peaches, and you're going to see what we're going to do. The same thing, we have some frozen organic unsweetened raspberries. The same thing is going to give us some tartness and some flavor. Also, raspberry gives you a little extra fiber in there. But again, if we had 1 1/4 cup, that would be about 16 grams of carbohydrate. We actually only have about 1/4 cup of raspberry, so we're way below on what it is. And so what we've done, there's ways you can get flavor out of your fruits. And so one way is you can get an infuser. Next week we'll actually show an infuser where you just put the fruit in and you'll let the essence drip out. There's a quicker way that you can do it. I have here what is called a muddler. And if you see the sharp ends of it, it's designed to get the essence out of fruit or leaves or things like that. You can do this. People use this often in cocktails, but it can also be in things like an infused water. So what we've done is put some of our peaches and our raspberries in here, and we're just going to work this with our muddler. And this, what you want to do is break this up. I want to break this up like we're doing, and you would just break up the peaches and the raspberries because you want to get the essence. And this is going to be in the bottom, and we're going to infuse this water. Now here's a trick about the water. Today we are using bottled water for our infused water. And for some people where you may be, you may need to use bottled water because the water quality is not good. Actually, if you are in the Bay Area in California, particularly in the East Bay area, our water quality has been deemed for the most part okay. So we could use tap water. So depending on where you are, you should check with your local water company, your local health department. So what we're going to do is we have some water that we're just going to pour into some cups, and we're going to add ice to this. So we already have some in here. We're going to fill this up. And then I'm going to have Brother J. Don in just a minute add some ice to this. as we fill this pitcher up. Just a minute. Now, here's the other thing that you can do with this. You can also add extra flavoring. So to this peach and berry infused water, you could add something like mint, and you could take your muddle and muddle the mint leaves, and you'll get the mint essence in there. The other thing that you could do, if you wanted to a squirt of lime or a squirt of lemon juice, you could get some additional flavor. So next week we're going to have some different infused waters. Brother J. Don's going to add some ice into this and cool it down.
Ooh.
There we go. A little more ice in there. And I'll have Jay muddle when he puts the rest of the ice in there and get that water even more infused. That looks good enough. And I'm going to let him just muddle that around a little more. And while we're muddling that water, you're seeing, if you can really see this, it's releasing more of the essence of the peaches and the raspberries. And again, you know, we're not trying to make a sweetened drink. We are making an infused water. So this is something that you can have fun. You know, raspberry naturally makes a red syrup. So kids look at it and they'll say, oh wow. But they're going to taste it, and it's not going to taste like something they got at the corner store or at the supermarket. It's definitely not going to taste like some of the stuff that we have really looked at. We really want to encourage you because we know that the issue of childhood obesity, childhood diabetes, type 2 diabetes is epidemic. One day I'll really share my own story and let you know that the reality is you and I, in our communities and our families, we can get better, we can do better, and this is just one way. We do the Soil to the Soul cooking and gardening series and our Thirsty for Change piece because we want you to live. We want to live, we want to be around for our children, we want to be around for our communities. There's so much work that we have to do. So we're going to let that set for just a minute as he's muddled it, and as it sets and draws some more of that essence, and then we're going to taste it in a couple of minutes, and we're going to see what the brothers think about it. This is a recipe that we will make available to you. Again, you want to really choose organic peaches, organic raspberries, organic fruits. I like the fact that when you freeze them, they're already, you know, and I thaw them out a little bit, not so they're mushy, but I thaw them out a little bit so it has a little bit of give to it, but still a little bit of cold and frozen texture to it. So we're gonna pour a little bit of this, and we'll see what the brothers think.
So, Pastor, why do they promote Gatorade to kids?
Well, you know, again, we know that we live in an era where we market things to kids because we know that parents are going to buy it because a lot of times parents may not know better, and parents want to please their kids and shut their kids up sometimes when they're screaming in the grocery store. But we need to have wiser choices for our kids and our families, and this is one. So
the vitamin water is in the store, the sugar sweetened.
That is sugar sweetened as well. And again, there are zero Gatorades, there's zero vitamin water, zero sports drinks. But again, then if you're getting into those, you're also getting into drinks, quite frankly, that may have other additives with artificial sweeteners. And that's a show for another day. but that may not be the healthiest thing. You're not getting the carbohydrates, you're not getting the calories, but you may be putting some other things in your body. So we'll talk about it. So you guys, Chef Mark and Brother Jay, you had a chance to taste it. What did you think about the infused water?
I think it tastes very good. I like the way how the fruit brings flavor to the water, and it's real balanced.
Yeah, and again, we could really add, if we want to add some lemon or lime to this, or some mint. You could take the flavors up another notch. But this is a wonderful summer cooler. Again, it's not a lot of sugar. Well, the only sugar is the natural sugar that occurs in the fruit. And, again, this is a great alternative to some of the things that you see that really end up harming our bodies and harming the bodies of our kids. We love you. We thank you again. We want you to live. Take this recipe. We'll get some more things out to you over the next week. God bless.